Chief Gerald Smith, the Richmond Police Department. Earlier today, about 5 p.m. or shortly after 5 p.m., RPD officers attempted to stop a vehicle at 20th and Fairmont. Officers observed this vehicle running stop signs, red lights, and just reckless driving. The vehicle refused to stop. A vehicle pursuit was initiated that ended up here in the 1300 block of Coulter Street, where that vehicle struck a parked vehicle. The sole occupant of that vehicle exited the vehicle with a weapon in hand. That particular subject then attempted to flee, approaching the officers and pointing a gun at an officer. The officer felt an immediate threat of his life and did not return fire, fired, okay, discharged his weapon. The subject was hit. Officers called medic, and at that time, the officers then began with medical first aid to render aid to the subject. Medic arrived on scene. Subject was transported to a local hospital here where he was deemed, his status was deemed non-life threatening. At this time, it is, I know you guys have been out here all night or sitting out here for a while, and you've probably heard quite a bit of gunfire in the area. It's just a time and a matter that we're asking people, this not a time to be celebratory fire during these times of pandemic. It is time for us to actually just to be with family and to appreciate each other and celebrate in different ways. But we will get back to the reason that we're here, and I will take a few questions if you have them.
Chief, forgive us, there were some cars going by. So let me backtrack a little bit. The driver had gotten out of the car, attempted to run, pointed the gun at the officer, and then could you just relay that information?
Correct.
After that.
Subject was the sole occupant of the vehicle,
yeah.
The vehicle that you just saw go by, and that vehicle hit a parked car.
Yeah.
The subject then exited the vehicle with a gun in hand and attempted to flee, coming towards the officers, and pointed the weapon at an officer, and the officer discharged his weapon in fear of his life or fear of his own safety.
When you say attempted to flee, it sounds like he was running towards the police officer.
He was, but we have yet to interview him. So attempting to flee is giving him the benefit of the doubt, but he definitely did point a gun at an officer, okay? Clearly, we have reviewed BWC, and it is clear footage that he pointed that weapon at an officer while he was coming out of that vehicle and attempting to flee. He could very well have been attempting just to engage the officer in a physical combat. I don't know, but he pointed a weapon at an officer.
So something there was body-worn camera activated, and you have seen this?
I have not, but my staff has, and we are reviewing it right now. And once I leave here, I'm going to go review all of it myself too. So yes, but on body-worn camera, I have been informed that it is clear that he pointed a weapon at an officer.
And the officer only fired one shot?
We are determining how many shots were fired at this time. We have more than one shot that was fired. We have 3 casings that we have found on the scene. But as this investigation continues, part of the investigation will be to count the rounds of the officer on scene as well as any other officer on scene to determine exactly how many rounds were fired.
And is it confirmed that this suspect did not fire their own weapon?
We're right in the middle of the investigation. At this time, we do not know. I do know that it happened very quickly, very fast. So we are looking at everything that we can to determine what exactly happened. And as this continues on, we will be giving updates on the developments of this investigation.
Has this person been charged yet?
I can't hear you, sir.
Has this person been charged yet?
The subject is being under the care of the medical staff at the hospital, so he has not been charged as of yet. And that we are in the middle of the investigation. I am sorry, please forgive that. Emotions are running high out here, all right? And we're in the middle of the investigation.
Is the officer on administrative leave, or are they still on regular duty?
He has not been placed on administrative leave yet, but that is part of our protocol. He will. Right now, he is at our police station being interviewed in reference to this.
How many officers? Was it just the one officer who was?
No, we had multiple officers on scene, and all officers who were here will also be interviewed as the course of this investigation.
So how many officers were present when that shooting?
Multiple officers. I am not sure if they're quite of a number yet, but we will have that number.
Did they all have body-worn cameras activated?
That is another question that we're reviewing all body-worn camera out here, and we will be able to determine who had it on and who didn't have it on, and if they should have all had it on.
Have those officers who were on scene been kept separate from each other?
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
Have the officers been kept separate from each other? Talking about potentially coordinate?
Oh, you're speaking of statement contamination,
Yeah.
possibly. Yeah, they are probably at the station, separated from each other, waiting to be interviewed. I would have to make sure that is the case, but that is protocol for investigations for witnesses of any kind. Yes. Now I understand what you're getting at.
Is it known if this suspect lives here?
Hang on, Allie, did you have a question? Because you guys, I'm not being